Hello! Today we're going to talk about something that I call the Big Five. I'm Amy Wheeler, and I'm a therapist in private practice in the Littleton, Colorado area. And I talk to a lot of my clients about one big important concept, and it's what I call the 5 pillars to total wellness. Now, these 5 pillars won't automatically make life easy, but it will make it a lot easier to cope with the bumps and bruises along the way. So let's get to it. The big 5 include eat, sleep, move, fresh air and sunshine, spirituality, and community. So let's dive into it. What we put in our body really matters. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've heard that. So people talk a lot about fruit and vegetables, which are incredibly important because they have a lot of the nutrients for our life. And then people often demonize carbs, thinking that they're terrible, they gain weight loss, all sorts of things. But our brains actually need carbs, so it would be helpful if you didn't think about them as the devil. One really important thing that I think is important for everybody to recognize is the importance of water in our bodies. We all know that we're made up of a lot of it, but what we don't know is that dehydration can actually trigger depression and anxiety feelings. So we don't want that at all. Lastly, I want to talk about protein. Protein is super important, not only because it helps us feel strong and gives us energy that sustains throughout the day, but also because it impacts our stress levels. So here's the thing, sugar and cortisol, the stress hormone, are actually opposing forces. When we go throughout our day and just have a bunch of carbs, what happens is we have all these sugar spikes and crashes, which kind of feel really crappy. Because that red line there, that's our cortisol levels. So as our sugar crashes, our cortisol spikes, causing us to feel stressed, and vice versa. So you go throughout the day with all these sugar crashes and cortisol spikes. So instead, when we eat more protein throughout the day, what happens is that evens out our energy levels as well as our cortisol spikes and crashes. So you'll just generally feel a lot better. All right. So that being said, the next one that everyone talks about is sleep. I love this quote. It's an Irish proverb. A good laugh and a long sleep can cure almost anything. So we need really good sleep. And a lot of times when we're struggling physically or emotionally, we're just not getting it. So one of the things that I want to recommend, and I'm not going to go into in this video, is to practice good sleep hygiene. Next, I want to talk about moving. Moving is so important to our brains and our bodies. So it's not just about trying to lose weight and get fit. It doesn't have to be hardcore running. It doesn't have to be long walks on the beach, which that sounds wonderful. But actually what's really important is that when we are exercising, regardless of what kind of exercise, is that our heart gets pumping hard. Because as it does so, it processes out some of that yucky cortisol we just talked about. So it's really important that as we work out, we let our heart rate go up and down. Doing so can actually help our body to practice the process of being stressed and relaxing. Partially for this reason, we found that HIIT training, or high intensity interval training, actually helps to teach your body to calm the heck down. Next, I want to talk about getting outside. Fresh air and sunshine is super important for our bodies. I don't know about you, but if I can get outside every day and sit in the sunshine and breathe fresh air, I feel a whole lot better. There's a whole lot of sciencey reasons for this, but the current recommendation is that 20 minutes every day be spent outside. Okay, the last pillar is spirituality and community. Now, spirituality means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For some people, it's organized religion. Brené Brown, a renowned social scientist and author, has described spirituality as recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. Practicing spirituality brings a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose to our lives. So there you have it, the big 5. Eat, sleep, move, fresh air and sunshine, and spirituality and community. They're the foundation for our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So what do you do with this? Where do you go? Where do you start? If you're not feeling great, the first thing to do is check, are any of these out of balance for you? Are there some areas you feel super strong or others that you feel really weak in? Now don't do them all at once. Please don't do that. But pick only one to start with. And preferably, choose one that sounds really easy to you to make some changes in. Whether it's carrying a water bottle around to drink more water, maybe it's getting moving, maybe it's just getting outside and feeling the sunshine on your face more frequently. Maybe it's working to get better sleep, or getting back to your spiritual practices, or getting connected with the world around you. But do something that you feel like you could be successful with. I'm so glad you listened this far. Now check me out online at my website at reallifecreativecounseling.com.